Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Very happy to be here and very happy that the videos that I've been putting out have been helping you guys when it comes to SMP and my experience on it. Today, I want to take the time to speak to you a little about my experience working with Scalp Logic. It was quite the experience. It was a fantastic experience. I wouldn't take it back. I'm very happy with it. As you guys might be able to notice, I shaved my head just for this video completely. And so this is the remnants of their work. Now I want to show you something off the bat. So many people, again, keep in mind, lighting affects this stuff. So I have a light over here to make it aesthetic for you guys, but keep in mind that's going to affect some things. But we'll look at different types of lighting, and again in the future, I'll put out a couple of videos with me in the sun like I've already done. If you guys follow my channels, you'll see various videos of me out in the sun, out and about. I probably have a couple on here of with me in the sun. Now, the last time, I think the last procedure I had 3 sessions with Scalp Logic, and so far everything healed perfectly fine. That is one of the huge advantages of the way they do their work. Their work is very light and gentle, and that is going to almost guarantee that you're going to have an extremely easy healing process. Not only will you have an extremely easy healing process, but throughout the different sessions that you have with them, no one's going to notice that you're getting this stuff done. I remember someone was multiple times after getting my sessions done with them, I was talking to people in their face, and many people even mentioned that they liked my haircut when my head was as bald as this. Now, take a look at this real quick. You see how light this is? This is what my head would look like without Scalp Logic's help. You see how light this is? Now take a look at the top. You see how dark that is? Do you see the difference between this and this? You should be able to see that difference. Very dark on top, very light on the sides. That's because what they're going to do is they're going to give you like a high and tight, right? They're going to work on the areas where you're losing your hair and blend it in to the sides. So they've blended it into the sides, and they did a lot of heavy work on top, which I love, because when I'm walking around like this, it looks like I got a haircut. You see a difference between the side and the top. Huge difference. So a lot of people, when you look at Scalp Logic's work on camera, depending on the lighting and all that stuff, they might think that it's too light, and it is on the lighter side of the spectrum, but that's for a reason. That's because they're trying to mimic a natural look. Many companies out there don't try to mimic a natural look. They try to give you a dark look so that you look dark all the time. That's not how real hair works. Especially when you're going to be walking under different types of lighting. You don't want it to look dark all the time, because under lighting, under natural lighting, your hair lightens, right? So if you have dark SMP all the time, even under bright lights, it might look a little suspect. So many people, they'll come to me and be like, oh yeah, so you shave your head. They see the difference in the tones. They can see that I have hair even when my head is fully shaved. Before I got SMP, my entire skull looked like this. Now it looks like this. Huge difference in color. Huge, huge difference. So the work that they do is exceptional, because I can't imagine another company being more realistic than what they're doing. I've seen so many different people's work. I've gotten so many people who have emailed me their SMP pictures, and I gotta say, a lot of it looks like ink on paper. Not good. The slow process that we have, that I did with them, took a period of 3 sessions. Within those 3 sessions, each process was maybe about 3 hours or so. Each session was about 3 hours, and it was fantastic. You're hanging out with Joe and Nicole, fantastic people. It was an amazing experience. Now, you will have to fly to go to them, depending on where you are. If you're not in Texas, you'll have to drive or fly to see them, because right now, currently, they're located in Texas. It's 2023. They might move again, I don't know. At one point, I think they were located in California. Now they're located in Texas. And it's worth the trip, in my personal opinion. The work you're getting is stellar. People are going to see the work. They're gonna be under the impression that you're shaving your head if you have no hair on your head. And you're gonna walk away very satisfied because it gives you the most natural look. Again, if you like the darker looks, you do not want to go to them. If you want your hair to look very, very dark, like ridiculously dark, to the point where in all lightings and all settings it's gonna look like you have like thick hair on your head, you don't want to go to them. And even if you do go to them, they're not going to take you as a client. They're looking for people who want the natural look. This is the natural look. This is what a normal shaved head looks like, and that's what you want. But it was a fantastic experience, healed perfectly, and I prefer having lighter treatments over a period of multiple sessions because you can always make it a little bit darker. You can't take darkness away. So a lot of the time, if you go to an SMP artist, they might say, yeah, guaranteed we're going to do it in 2 sessions. Well, that means the only way they can guarantee that is because they're putting a ton of ink into your head and they're going deeper with it so the ink can stay. What Scalp Logic's doing is they're putting very light dots, and whatever sticks, sticks, and that's great because it's going to look like a hair follicle. Then they're going to come back on a second session, and whatever didn't stay, they're going to go over again. You're slowly adding tiny, tiny pieces of pigment, and that's going to allow you to have a natural layered look rather than just heavy dot, heavy dot, heavy dot, and then all of a sudden you may or may not like the way it looks. You have a lot more leeway when you do this approach. The only thing is, of course, you're going to have multiple sessions over multiple weeks, and so that may not work with your schedule. If that doesn't work with your schedule or you just don't feel like doing it, hey, go to a local person in your area. But I could have went local and I didn't go local, and the reason why was because I liked this approach better. I've seen people's SMP in person. I know the difference between what SMP looks like on camera and what SMP looks like in person. There is a huge, huge difference. I've seen people's work, and it doesn't always look good. You're taking a chance every time you go to somebody who's going to quote you, yep, this is how much it's going to cost, and yes, definitely, I'm getting it done in 2 sessions. I personally think if anybody's guaranteeing you how many sessions it's going to take, they're probably rushing the process, and I would recommend not to go with that person. I like the way Joe and Nicole handle things, and that's why I go with them. That's why I went with them. And in the future, if I need any touch-ups or anything like that, or I want it darker, or whatever the case might be, I'm going to be going with Joe and Nicole as long as they're doing it. And if they're not doing it, I'm going to be calling them and saying, who did you recently teach? So I can go to that person, because they teach people how to do this too. The process with them is very meticulous, not painful, very meticulous, under the radar. When you get this done, no one's going to even know. They're just going to look at your head and be like, oh, you shaved your head. It's amazing. It's amazing. The one caveat, yes, you'll have to travel. Yes, but hey, when I got my original work done, I had to travel for this too, because talent is all over the world. So if you want the best, you might have to put in some legwork. Is it worth it to you? I don't know. It's completely up to you. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Great experience. Love the slow, drawn-out process because it's going to ensure that it is natural looking, which is what you want. Let me show you what this looks like without that heavy white light hitting me in the head. And notice I have a heavy white light on. You can still see the SMP. As soon as it comes to here, it starts to look, oh, looks like you have a fade there. Yeah, because they didn't do the work here. They did the work on the top. And so you can see their work is very dark when compared to the side. Let me go get that light off. Now I still have a white light on in the room. You can see it bouncing off my head. You can see the white light hair on the side. Well, not hair, but skin. And then you see the dark on the top. Beautiful, beautiful shade. Absolutely beautiful. Again, in certain lighting, it's going to wash out the SMP. But that's what normal people who shave look like. So keep that in mind. That's normal. Do you want to look abnormal or do you want to look normal? If you're going to end up being self-conscious because your SMP is so dark and now you're sitting in a restaurant and the lighting is so bright and it's hitting your dark skull and it looks like you have paint on your head and you're going to wear a hat because of that, well, don't get this procedure. Don't do it. You're going to destroy your life in another way. You're wearing a hat because you're afraid that people are going to see you without your hair, so you wear a hat to give yourself some youth and some confidence. But you go getting dark SMP, and now you're sitting in a restaurant or something, or you're sitting at a board meeting or something, and it doesn't look normal under certain lighting, you're going to be self-conscious of that too. At that point, you might as well not even get the procedure. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, let me know. I do not regret this procedure at all. Highly recommend Joe and Nicole. I think they have the best touch when it comes to this, the best process. And yes, it is a process because you're going to be having multiple sessions. Again, mine was 3. I don't know how many you might have, but they make sure to keep in touch with you. They make sure to prep your head for the best results. Never once did any other company that I reached out to ask me, how's the health of your skin? How can we make your skin health better before the procedure so that the ink takes properly? No one ever mentioned that, ever. And that's a huge deal. Because if you have dry skin, you have burnt skin, you have a problem with your skin, the ink is not going to take properly. It's going to bleed in your skull. You know, you're going to have to go harder in certain areas than other areas if you have bad skin. They take the time to fix your skin in advance while you're waiting for an appointment. They do everything right. And so I really, really recommend this process. And if you can't go to them because of your time or the flight or whatever the case might be, I recommend going to someone who does the work like them. Anyway, talk to you guys later.